Hello, I'm the Bad Luck Gamer, and this is going to be a new series where I talk about what makes each class good. Because I'm going to tell you right now, every class in Pathfinder 2nd Edition is good. And if anyone tells you differently, if anyone tells you about like damage output or whatever, that doesn't matter because damage and like combat is only 1/3 of the game in general. So I'm just going to be talking about the features that make the characters good in combat, storytelling, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to highlight the key features that make you want to play a class. And I'm going to start off with one of the ones I feel get the most criticism or not the most attention from players, and that's going to be the Bard. The Bard is one of those classes that has a stigma to it, horny bard, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people have that kind of idea of it, or it's just a character who plays a flute or plays a bandolier. But no, bards are kick ass. Like, for real. They can be deep line occultists, they have connections to otherworldly powers, or their muses are just things that are beyond normal comprehension. Like, the whole point of the bard is that they learn types of magic that go against what arcane casters really think of when it comes to using magic. They learn ancient songs. They find old occult rituals and such, and incorporate it into song and dance. Like, when you really think about it, they can do the same thing that like scientists can do, only through song and dance. It's like if someone put a beaker in front of themselves and like some chemicals next to it, and they just spun around and sung a song, and then it just made a concoction. Like, that is the Bard. That's really cool. It has a lot of great story potential. But wait, there's more. Bards have access to more martial weapons than all the other standard full casters do. The longsword, the whip, the rapier, like, all really, really good weapons that makes them just better at combat innately. Now, they're not going to get like that much better at combat. They get expert at best. But the thing is they don't have to spend any extra feats or any other class features to get access to decent weapons, unlike, wizard or witch or even sorcerer. It's really, really good. But now I'm going to hit you with a bomb right now. It's going to be the absolute best thing about Bard, and the reason why you want to bring the Bard with you to any party, well, any dungeon. Probably not bring a Bard to a party if they're going to do this. Dirge of Doom. Dirge of Doom is a great focus cantrip, and it's a cantrip, which is even better. A 30-foot emanation of Frightened 1, where enemies cannot reduce the frightened condition unless they leave the emanation. Now, 30 feet emanation is a massive emanation. It takes up most rooms. Like a 30-foot emanation means standing in the middle of the room, they cover pretty much a 60-foot by 60-foot room, with the corners being the safe zones. That is immense, and there's no save for it. The enemies don't make a save. They're just Frightened 1. Now, if you're unfamiliar about the frightened condition, it sucks to be frightened anyway, because it gives you a negative to all your ACs, DCs, skill checks, attack rolls, everything. It just makes your character worse. It pretty much dumbs them down by like a level for everything but hit points. It's really, really good. Not only that, but there's a variety of classes and ancestries that actually benefit from a target being frightened. So that gives the Bard tons of build potential for just being anything, whether you're the Dark Kitsune, I can't think of it off the top of my head, or a Hobgoblin. Just the fact that you can frighten an enemy like that is really, really good. But speaking of focus cantrips, we're going to talk about Allegro. Allegro is so good. Allegro is literally haste as a single action cantrip. One action, you haste an ally, they can stride, step, or strike. That's really, really good. If you don't want to burn a spell slot, that's really good. If you only have one major, like, melee combatant in your party, which some comps have, it's perfect. You don't have to waste a spell slot. And if you're a Maestro Bard, you can extend it with Lingering Composition. It's really, really good. It's really, really good. There's nothing more to say. They go fast, they kill people fast. That's it. The Bard can just do that as a feature. Really, really good. Versatile performance is by far one of the best starting feats that any class gets, purely because of the numerical value that comes with it. Now, versatile performance means that the bard can use performance in place of diplomacy for making an impression, for intimidation for demoralizing enemies, and for deception checks to impersonate an individual. Performance does all of these for it. A bard should already be boosting their performance anyway because it's literally used in a lot of their other features. And this one skill just covers 3 of the social bases without question. Now, you can't use it for feinting, for deception, but what you can do is versatile performance also allows one's performance, the rank in their performance, to get skill feats in deception, diplomacy, or intimidation as if those skills were the same proficiency as performance. So even if you just wanted to pick some of these up but you didn't want to invest in the skill that much, bam, versatile performance, really, really good. It's with the Enigma Muse. It's just the character has so much value. You can put your skills into other things. You can make a more rogue type bard. You can make a more knowledge based lore bard, and you will still have access to pretty much all the basic facing abilities that a character would need. There's literally nothing better for a bard than versatile performance if they want to be a face and do other things as well. Bardic lore, really, really good. You get a universal lore feat. Now, if you're not familiar, and this is something that a lot of people probably don't know about lore feats in Pathfinder, a lore feat allows you to essentially reduce the difficulty of a specific kind of recall knowledge check. Most predominantly, this is going to be used in combat against certain monsters, which means that this feat will make recalling information. Well, first of all, you can recall information on anything with this feat. So you don't need to be trained in Arcana, religion, society, or occultism. All you need is bardic lore, and you can make a roll on any creature you come across. Really, really good. Not only that, but because it's a lore feat, it reduces the DC by 1 step. Typically, this is enough to make it like a -2 from the DC. But this also makes uncommon creatures just a standard roll. This also makes rare creatures just a +2 to the DC, which instead of a +5, that's so many points you get. And Bardic Lore is really, really great. The only bad thing about Bardic Lore is that you can't boost the skill yourself. And the best it can ever get is Expert when you hit Legendary in Occultism. Now, that kind of sucks, and you're not going to be making some of the really, really difficult checks for creatures that are like above your level. But for everything else, for all the chaff units, you're going to be sitting pretty with this Bardic Lore feat. And because it kind of grows based on occultism, you just kind of can make an occultic bard and have knowledge of all things. Like, when you think about it, when you think about the roleplay potential of this, your character has such deep knowledge of the occult that they literally just know the basic fundamentals of everything. How about I tell you that there is a feat you can pick up that allows the bard to prevent anyone from dying? Right? Now, it's a reaction, but Ode to Ouroboros prevents a character from hitting their final dying level, going just one under. Now, that means that even if they're attacked while unconscious with a reaction, Ode to Ouroboros, your bard just saved your life and prevented you from dying. Now, that doesn't mean that the enemy can't attack again and kill your character, but it has so many good uses in very terrible combats. If you're playing a very hard game, Ode to Ouroboros is going to save everyone's life. And that's it. That there's not really much more to talk about it, but just the fact that the bard has some access to some song or some ability to keep your spirit attached to your body also has a lot of story potential. There's so much about Bard that I really wish I could talk about, but I wanted to keep this video more or less on the shorter side. I'm not doing great on that now, but let's talk about two more things. Fatal Aria. Now, it's a focus level 10, which means you don't get this until like level, 17, 19. But you can just straight up kill people by singing to them. Literally, a bard can just have such strong pipes that they die, or a piece is literally so moving that the anxiety or the pure emotional overflow from it just causes you to die. What do you want? What do you want from me? It's really cool. Bard can just straight up kill someone by singing at them with a focus spell. Something that they get back on a 10-minute rest. That's really good. That's really, really good. It's end game, I know. It's like really, really end game where most people don't play. I know, but still, not many classes can actually do the same thing. Last thing I want to say is when we're talking about being a bard, one of the biggest turnoffs for anyone is, oh, I have to use an action every round to use one of my cantrips, and that's just going to mean that I just have to use my cantrip all the time, and I just have 2 actions. You're telling me I just have 2 actions to play with. You're wrong. If you play as a Maestro Muse, or if you have the Maestro Muse, you can get Lingering Composition, and you can set one of your cantrips off for a focus point for 3, maybe even 4 rounds. And then you just have the rest of the combat to do whatever you want. Like, if your complaint is you don't want to be sitting around and just using your cantrip, then don't. Lingering Composition is really good. Even if you have a different muse, you can just get the dual muse feat and then get Lingering Composition. Like, I know that's a lot of feats to get that one thing, but if it stops you from playing the class, I say it's well worth the investment. And that's just the great thing about Bard. If you want a class that literally can just be a caster and just sit in place, buff allies, debuff enemies, and cast a spell, like, they get 2 magic-like effects essentially in a round. They're more castery than your standard wizard is. Like, I can't stress enough how good Bard is. But hey, you don't want that? Fine. Go to the Blade Muse or the War Muse. I can't remember what it's called right now. But for real, you can just go and be a fighting muse. You can amp yourself up. You can debuff your enemies. You can harmonize so that you get 2 effects at once. Like, there's a lot you can do with the Bard. And it's a caster that plays in so many different ways. it's really hard to play a different kind of wizard because all wizards kind of can do the same thing because their lists eventually homogenize because you just get enough spells. Like, once you're a wizard, you're just a wizard, and eventually you just have all the same spells that other wizards do because you're a nerd and you learn all the spells. But with Bard, all your feat choices make a big difference. There are ancestry choices that make a big difference for your build. And most importantly, focus cantrips are really, really cool. And the Bard has so many that are really, really good for helping in and outside of combat. Like, the Bard has great roleplay potential, an asset in combat, and can help with exploration mode. I'm going to be coming out with a video at some point soon where I'm going to talk about why metagaming and not metagaming, but like why a meta doesn't really fit in tabletop in general, especially not when you're talking about Pathfinder second edition. Woo, voice. I got too excited there. But especially not in second edition. And it's just, there's so many other aspects to the game other than just dealing damage or even just what you can do. Like, if you just have like spells or whatever, like even without spells, a character can be great, and even with spells, a character can be great. It really doesn't matter. It's just how much fun you have. And that's the point of this video, and this is the point of any of the videos I'll be producing. These videos are so that you can have fun with your class. You can get hyped up with the class you want to play, or you can make a great character idea because someone actually told you what was cool about your class rather than explaining in a 30-minute video every little thing about a class, which is just not exciting. What I told you today are the great things about Bard, and there's still some more. But hey, I'm actually done. This video has gone way longer than I anticipated, and I did not think I'd have the amount of energy to get through it all. But that's just how excited I am about this game and about bringing these videos to you guys. So look out next week, next Saturday or Sunday, depending on what happens. Another video will be coming out soon, and I'll be talking about another class so that you can enjoy the hype with me. But good luck for now. Enjoy your games, and catch me at either my on my streams. I'm going to be multi-streaming now to both Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube and Twitch, maybe Facebook, who knows. And you can also join me in the Discord, which you can find in the description part of this video, where you can possibly game with me and my friends in future sessions, because I always recruit there first before I recruit anywhere else for my games. But I'm the Bad Luck Gamer, and I hope you all have a great day, a wonderful night, and an amazing morning. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. You know, that sounds dumb, but I'll work on that in the next video. Bye.